Greetings. Welcome to the Film School. I'm Joe.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not really going to review a specific movie. We're going to talk about the Criterion Collection, as you can see back here, which a certain retailer, whose initials begin with B and N, figure it out. They do an annual, a biannual sell. Usually in July and November, where these movies are half off. So Chris and I tend to go a little nutty and drop some mad cash. Some mad cash on these movies for our collection. And we're going to tell you about some of the films that we picked up this last July during the sale. But first, I'll talk a little bit about what the Criterion Collection is. I know we've talked about it before on the Dead Serial podcast.
Give us the history, Joe.
I've mentioned it on this, I think on the, didn't I do that on the intro video? I think so, I mentioned. But just for those who are not familiar, the Criterion Collection is basically a company in New York who started by releasing and remastering films. They've got a mission statement. I'm going to read this mission statement real quick. It says right here, the Criterion Collection is dedicated to gathering the greatest films from around the world and publishing them in editions of the highest technical quality, with supplemental features that enhance the appreciation of the art of film. So basically, this company started off on Laserdisc, bypassing the VHS and Betamax, and because the movies were on Laserdisc, what is this? And because they were on digital format, the Criterion Collection started a few things that have become industry standard. They had multiple tracks, so they could do things like add commentary, supplemental material like trailers, deleted scenes, extended scenes, featurettes, still galleries, radio spots, music videos, all that kind of stuff, which is come to be the standard for your basic Blu-ray and DVD release, which these guys started. So I'm kind of a fan. They tend to take a lot of really good titles and give them a nice 2K, 4K treatment with
nice
a lot of supplementals.
They remaster them, make them look nice and clean.
Nice and clean. Why don't you tell us what you got this last month? I know you didn't bring everything because we got a few of the same movies.
Yeah, so I picked up Terry Gilliam's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. If anybody haven't seen this, it's based on a Hunter S. Thompson novel. It's
good.
It's a good one.
It's really good. It's a 4-star film.
Michael Haneke's Funny Games, the original one. He also directed the
American,
remake.
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much the same movie.
Yeah.
So
why not go with the original?
Let's go with the original.
This is where he and our tastes vary a little bit. Like, that's not one I'd probably pick up, but I've got some that he wouldn't pick up too, so, you know.
David Mamet's House of Games. If you know who David Mamet is, he's kind of a playwright, but he's written a lot of screenplays like Untouchables.
6 Degrees of Separation.
And
Spanish Prisoner. Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah. But anyway, he's always got crisp dialogue.
Yeah. Now, I'm not familiar with this one. What year was this?
This one was 1987.
Okay, and who's in this?
Joe Mantegna and the late great J.T. Walsh. If anybody knows, he was a great character actor back in that day. So
yeah, missed that guy. And was Lindsay Krause?
Yeah, Lindsay Krause.
I'm not familiar with her.
I'm not. I think this was her only. I don't know. I haven't really looked her up. Yeah, I'm not entirely familiar with her either.
Doesn't stick out. But you said Joe Mantegna, huh?
Yeah.
I love Fat Tony. That's so cool. Hey, that's good. So it's good then?
Yeah, it's really good. It's, it's got your typical twists and turns like
the Mamet.
The Mamet likes to do. So.
Oh, I need to get this one.
And I picked up Jonathan Demme's Something Wild. It's an awesome movie. It's got Jeff Daniels, Melanie Griffiths, and Ray Liotta.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, man.
Yeah,
what was it, 86, 87?
86, yeah.
86? Yeah, I need. That's one that was on my list this month, but I didn't get a chance to get it.
It's got a pretty good soundtrack.
Yeah. It's all like new wave,
yeah,
post-punk, punk 80s stuff. Just kind of all the rage now, right?
Yeah, Jonathan Demme, who did Silence of the Lambs, of course. And
I like the artwork. You can see that. They all have really good artwork. A lot of times, Criterion Collection will also commission artists, graphic designers, comic book artists to do the artwork. And really, they're like the leaders of they're like the leaders of the boutique edition releases. If it wasn't for the Criterion Collection, we wouldn't have Eureka and Arrow and Shout Factory, Scream Factory, Kino Lorber, Olive, Mill Creek. Like, these guys really pioneered that. I both picked this up.
I picked up a lot of these same titles.
David Lynch's Blue Velvet, first time on Blu-ray. So excited. But weren't you saying that this doesn't have the chapter selects?
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, like you were saying, David Lynch doesn't do that. And I didn't know that, but yeah, there's no. All you can really do is
watch
pause
the movie.
it.
Yeah,
pause it. You can't like if you accidentally press stop, you're gonna have to fast forward to that scene. Unfortunately,
or it's like playing Super Mario Brothers on the old NES where you had to pause it to go to school.
Yeah.
I'll finish this tomorrow, but that's because I think David Lynch just doesn't like you. You're supposed to watch the movie from beginning to end. That's not even. It's terrible. Not even a good impersonation. I picked up, and I think you already had this, but I picked up Dr. Strangelove, Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove.
I don't have the Criterion one, but I did get the Blu-ray one that has the book.
Oh, okay.
The book in it.
Yeah, the book edition. Those are cool too.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more this has over that, and it doesn't look like it was like a
but I do
upscan.
But they also released Past the Glory, which I have, and The Killing.
Yeah, I need to get those.
So,
and we both got Barry Lyndon.
And Barry Lyndon, yes.
And then and it's Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
And see, I'm not familiar with this one.
Oh, the next one, I'm very pleased. I'm very excited. This is new this year. This is, I think, for the first time ever on Blu-ray. It's a film that's fallen into public domain, but this edition, like George Romero's Night of the Living Dead in 2018, which is also public domain, and Charade, which is also public domain, these remasters in 2K or 4K are actually copyrighted by the Criterion or Janus Films or whatever. But this is like a neo-noir. It's a little neo-noir gem that slipped through the cracks. It's from Edgar G. Ulmer. The director, he started off doing like...
so is it kind of like a gumshoe? Like
no, it's more like along the lines of like... Because noir isn't always detective stories, but they do always have femme fatales. But this is one of those like ordinary guy gets caught up in a crazy situation.
So like double indemnity.
It's kind of a double indemnity, Sunset Boulevard kind of style, but it comes from the old Poverty Row moment in time, as they call them, the Poverty Row Studios in Hollywood in the late 30s, early 40s, that did independent films. This guy actually did one of the Universal horror movies of the 30s called The Black Cat with Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi.
Oh, nice.
That's getting a Blu-ray release in the Shout Factory Universal Monster Collection along with 3 other movies. But then he did... oh, geez. He did the classics. It's a B movie. He was mostly known for churning out B movies. But, what is it? Mr. X? We're going to have to edit that out. But this guy... We're keeping it? No, actually, this movie... So it's got some technical flaws. It's very budget, but it's also very, very compelling. And this gal right here, I'm not too familiar with the 2 leads, but this gal, what is her name? Anne Savage. Holy cow. She plays one of the best femme fatales I've ever seen. She's just ruthless.
Is it subtitled or is it?
No, it's American. Okay. Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out.
And it's only about 69 minutes long. It's got a nice retrospective on Edgar G. Ulmer with Roger Corman, Joe Dante, and Wim Wenders, which is pretty interesting.
That's cool.
And then, and I know you already have this, but Peter Yates is The Friends of Eddie Cole with Bob Mitchum, or early 70s crime heist movie.
Peter Yates, of course, directed Bullet, and that terrible, The Deep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
with
Nick Nolte. Yeah, and I got a Shout Blu-ray or a Screen Factory Blu-ray. Yeah. But check this out. This also has, so aside from Bob Mitchum, it's also got Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle.
Which I was very stoked on because I love Peter Boyle.
I love Peter Boyle, but he always plays these small parts. Like, I loved him as Wizard in Taxi Driver, but he's not in it for very long,
right?
Dude.
But he's in all of the Dream Team, which is it's not a bad film. It's a good comedy. Okay, Young Frankenstein, he's in a hefty chunk. But,
that's right. I'm just saying.
My only beef with this Criterion is no special features. None whatsoever, which is highly unusual. Oh, I'm sorry. Audio commentary from 2009 with Peter Yates and Steel Gallery. Now, you couldn't even throw the trailer on here? What, does it not exist? Could you not get copyright clearances? What's going on? That's literally the only complaint. That's a good movie. I'd never seen it before, and I was very surprised. And I know we both have this. Robert Zemeckis' first film that Steven Spielberg produced called I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Did Bob Gale write that one with him?
Yeah. And they would go on to do Used Cars. And Back to the Future.
Right.
And did Bob Gale work with him on Bob Zemeckis on Romancing the Stone?
I'm not sure, but they worked on Tales from the Crypt together.
Yeah.
So,
this movie, I remember seeing it when I was young on HBO, and I didn't understand Beatlemania at the time because this was the 80s, and yet I love this movie. It is so good. It's just a nice madcap little comedy. It's almost like a screwball comedy, but it's got some really good at the time up and comers. I mean, Nancy Allen, right, who had done The Fury and Carrie and Blowout for Brian De Palma, who she was eventually married for a moment there. It's got the late Wendy Jo Sperber. Oh yeah, and RoboCop 2, but you can forget about RoboCop 3. The late Wendy Jo Sperber, who I loved on Bosom Buddies, and in 1941, which also has Nancy Allen, which is written by Bob Gale and Bob Zemeckis, but directed by Steven Spielberg. It's got Mark McClure, as you'd know, as Marty McFly's older brother. Oh, and yeah, Wendy Jo Sperber is his older sister, too. Right. Again, Spielberg, Zemeckis, and Gale. Nice. Bobby DeSico, or what's it from? The Philadelphia Experiment. How do you pronounce that? Bobby DeSico? I think so. But it was in the Philadelphia. Anyways, this is a good movie. It's a fun time. Got a couple of Jarmusch films here.
Yeah.
Do you have this one?
I have both of those, yes.
Mystery Train. So good. Screaming Jay Hawkins, man.
I picked up
Joe Strummer's in this.
Picked up Down by Law, too.
Steve Buscemi. I need to get that one. And Stranger Than Paradise, which also has Permanent Vacation on there.
I need to pick that one up.
And Night on Earth, my favorite Jim Jarmusch movie. I've watched this 3 times in the week and a half that I've bought it because
it's great.
I saw it at a theater here back in 91 when it came out because I was like, Winona Ryder.
The Tower. Yeah,
the Tower Theater. Or I guess we got it in around 92. But I mean, it's got Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Usual Suspects, Do the Right Thing. You got Armin Mueller-Stahl, Rosie Perez, Roberto Benigni. My favorite segment in this, it's 5 segments told in taxi cabs around the world all at the same time. The third story that's set in Paris, that's my absolute favorite. That's so good. If you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it. And last but not least, very excited about this, the Jackie Chan Police Story 1 and 2 collection. You got this, right?
Yes, yeah. I did. I picked this one up as well.
If you want some serious badass, ass-kicking, these 2 movies, wow.
Yeah, and they actually know how to edit an action movie.
Yeah. You can see everything that's happening.
Right.
You watch Jackie Chan's American movies, and they fall suit to the same problems of typical American action movies. Too much quick cutting and things like that to get that hyperkinetic thing. But if you watch
to get that Michael Bay look,
Bay look, the organized chaos. But with these older Jackie Chan movies, well, pretty much all of his Hong Kong films, they're cut in a way where they're shot and cut in a way where you can see all the action clearly. And it's so much more impressive. Just why we don't do these in American films, these type of fight scenes, is beyond me.
Because time is money. They want it done.
Now, quick. We want it yesterday. It's a business. Of course it is. And this is why But this is why we buy these. Most of these come with great supplemental features, trailers, commentaries, booklets. I always do you read the essays in a lot of these things? The essays that they come with?
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, I mean, like,
beautiful packaging. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in them.
The only other company I've seen that does the same type of packaging as far as this case is The Indicator. Editions of, like, John Carpenter's Vampires and Ghosts of Mars, or The Eyes of Laura Mars, or Brian De Palma's Body Double. They have the same case that goes all the way to the top instead of a little Blu-ray thing right there.
Did they release a boutique Body Double?
Yeah, it's
really
Indicator. Yeah,
it is really. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get that one.
Yeah, and The Eyes of Laura Mars, which John Carpenter wrote.
I just have the standard Body Double. I just have it on DVD. I don't have it on Blu-ray.
Same. So it's one to pick up. But yeah, so I mean, for my money, I look forward to. I'll buy these all year round, but
it's an addiction for sure.
The sale is where it's at. I mean, I don't know about you, but I still have some on DVD. I've got 8 DVDs left. Most of them are replaced, but some, like Chasing Amy and the Beastie Boys, those are only available on, like, you can buy the Chasing Amy Blu-ray from Lionsgate, but the Criterion edition is only on DVD, and they're not going to be able to, I don't think.
You don't think Miramax or whatever?
Well, now that Lionsgate owns Miramax, I don't think that they're going to play around with Disney, so.
Forget about that.
You know. So, do you still have some on DVD?
Yeah, I have a few. I
got Seven Samurai, Brazil, If.
My Killing is on DVD, and my Videodrome.
Oh, okay.
A Videodrome, the Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Is on.
The Blu-ray packaging of that is cool. Yeah. It's like that VHS style, which I love so much.
And I haven't picked up The Brood. I just have The Brood on DVD.
Yeah, I've got The Brood on DVD too. It's one that I actually looked at, but I'm like, how often do I watch? I mean, I I've got Rabid, the Scream Factory edition, and I know that Shout Factory's releasing The Fly, but The Brood, I'll get it eventually to complete my collection. But I'm cool with the DVD at the moment.
I wonder if they'll do any more Cronenberg.
Well, I need to get scanners. I just have the DVD of Scanners.
That one's a good one.
Package, the art is so cool on that. It's kind of gruesome.
That movie's great. I love Scanners.
Yeah, that and The Fly, and maybe The Dead Zone, and not Eastern Promises, but A History of Violence. Those are my favorite Cronenberg movies. Yeah. Although Rabid is a lot of fun.
What about, is it Shivers?
Mm-hmm. That one I think got it got a boutique release, but it might be Arrow. I can't remember who's got it.
I think it might be Arrow Shivers. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one about basically like a sexually transmitted
disease, but they're like little like worm creatures that get up all in you and turn you into a sex maniac to spread the disease. Like, it's pretty gory blend of sex and body horror, like Cronenberg. You genius.
He loves the body horror, man.
Yeah. Dude, The Fly was like the pinnacle. The Fly and John Carpenter's The Thing.
Dude.
Yeah, but I was already what I'm getting at is with John Carpenter's The Thing and David Cronenberg's The Fly were the two scariest movies for me growing up that I could not watch until I was in my mid-20s. They scared me so much. Or excuse me. And The Fly's case, it was more just disgusting.
Yeah,
it's so good.
He
likes the weird body horror stuff.
Yep.
Videodrome. Yeah, Crash is a messed up movie. I'm not to be confused with the Oscar-winning film of the same damn name.
Yeah, correct.
The Cronenberg film with it was Patricia Arquette and no, it's Rosanna Arquette, isn't it?
No, it's James
Spader.
Then I can't forget that actress's name.
I think you can. I think you did. I think you did just then. I'm pretty sure.
But she was like in, I don't know.
Desperately Seeking Susan?
Was she? She might actually.
Then that would be Rosanna Arquette.
Oh, no.
I swear to God.
Rosanna Arquette, man.
All right. Well, it's been a long time. It's Holly Hunter. I don't know. It's been a long time since
actually, Holly Hunter is in that.
That's right.
She is. But it's not Holly Hunter.
No, she's not the one with the leg brace and the gash and the sex scene with the leg brace and the gash, which is really messed up.
It's like Deborah.
Oh, Deborah Kara Unger.
Deborah Unger.
And Rosanna Arquette.
All right.
I knew it. And Elias Koteas, man. I like that dude. He was the original Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
And he's also in Thin Blue Line and Apt Pupil and tons of movies. He's a good actor.
And Prophecy.
Yeah. Very underrated actor, I think. But yeah, it's an addiction. I mean, I actually did not buy a single Criterion Blu-ray until like 2016. So this is kind of, I've been aware of the collection for years. I've had DVDs since the early 2000s.
They didn't really start putting them on Blu-ray till what?
2008.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I went 8 years, but since then, my collection is growing. You'll find a lot of Criterion movies in my catalog of movies. I'm doing this because that's the imaginary catalog of movies behind me that you can just picture with the spines that look like this. Bloop. Yeah. It's a good collection, man. It's a lot of fun. And I'm glad that streaming hasn't put a stop to the physical media, because it's this type of stuff, these boutique editions, that keep me buying and sometimes rebuying and rebuying and rebuying.
Yeah, and it's a little annoying at times for sure, but
for sure. Just a word to the wise to the studios, just take it easy on us. We can only buy them so many times before we have to start paying for other things. But coming up, October 29th.
Was it 16?
16 if you include Godzilla King of the Monsters, yeah. But it's really the cool. Showa era.
And you were saying they got like different comic book artists do a lot of the...
Yeah, to do a lot of the alternate art. Bill Sienkowitz had already done the artwork for the original Criterion Godzilla, and he's a really amazing artist. I've got a graphic novel that he wrote, or that he illustrated, that Frank Miller wrote, called... Daredevil Love and War, that I had Frank Miller I got a signature from Frank Miller on that, which is really cool. But yeah, the artwork on the original Criterion Godzilla release, Blu-ray release from 2010, is fantastic. I love it. But the artwork for all of these,
you talking about the 54 one?
Yeah.
Artwork on that.
It's really cool. So in that tradition, being that Godzilla is kind of pop art, they've got a whole bunch of pop artists or comic book artists, graphic designers doing the art. So cool. 15 Japanese films plus the American recut of Godzilla King of the Monsters, with brand new subtitle translations on everything but the original Godzilla. All remastered. Some of them feature the dubbed versions, like King Kong versus Godzilla. So I'm very excited. That's something I'm going to pick up. And you have the one that I want that's out of print. That was the very first Blu-ray release from the Criterion Collection. Such an awesome movie, Chungking Express.
Wong
Kar-wai. It's an amazing film. And I can't believe you found it used at FYE.
No, it was Graywell. It was $22, dude. That movie's going for like $130.
They didn't know what they had on their hands, which is weird because usually they do. But he lucked out with that one. But hey, I've got the DVD, so it's cool. I will buy it one day.
I gave you that DVD.
I know, on my birthday, so thanks.
Right.
One day I will buy that Blu-ray, because that's like coveted for me. That movie is just, it's right up there with Wings of Desire for me. It's transcendental. And 2001: A Space Odyssey. My form of meditation is not actual meditation. It's popping in Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, Wim Wenders' Wings of Desire, or Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express, and I'm at peace.
Let's be honest, Joe. You don't meditate, bud.
That is my meditation.
Wow.
I'm meditating right now so as not to kill him. So, anyways, Thank you so much for joining us as we ramble about these awesome releases that I recommend you go and check out.
Yes, please. All you young crowds need to start looking into this stuff. It'll change your life, I promise you.
Film school. If you get the Cassavetes box set, the films from John Cassavetes is like a film school in a box, and that's from the Criterion. Or the Lost and Found collection.
Right.
Or the
Bob
Wim Wenders,
Rafelson.
Bob Rafelson and Peter Bogdanovich and those guys, Jack Nicholson, it's like a film school in a box. The Guillermo del Toro trilogy of Kronos, Devil's Backbone, and Pan's Labyrinth, that's like a film school in a box. So if you're really into the art of cinema, and for more than just, say, entertainment's sake, if you're the type of person like we are, you notice the visual aesthetic, the acting quality, the storytelling quality, I think you'd appreciate it. Like, sometimes I go down to my local library because they get Criterion releases on DVD, not Blu-ray, but there are movies that I want to watch before I decide to buy. And one that I recently watched last month, actually, was The Big Hit from Stephen Frears. And it's got Terrence Stamp and John Hurt and very young Tim Roth. I think it's Tim Roth's first movie.
I've never seen that one.
It's really good, and it is on my list to buy. So, yeah.
My Beautiful Laundrette, that's another Frears.
Yeah, and that's a good one. Daniel Day-Lewis.
I think was that his first role? It might have been.
I think so. Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Please like and subscribe.
Yes, please.
And go out and watch some Criterion movies.
Comment, whatever,
Please, yeah.
Tell us we suck. Tell us we're great. Whatever,
Hey, if you just want to throw out some titles, the movies that you like that you bought on the Criterion, that'd be cool.
Some of your favorite releases for sure.
Yeah. All right. And we'll catch you on the next episode. And that boy grew up to be Paul Harvey.